theme that is continued into this section is the loose moral times of the 1920s. At the beginning of Chapter 7, we learn that Gatsby has fired all of his servants and replaced them with some shadier characters. We learn that he didn't want people that would gossip about perhaps his past. This shows that maybe his previous servants were more concerned about having a good gossip to share rather than keeping the privacy of their employer. Later, at Daisy's house, Daisy sends Tom away to get drinks so that she may have a brief moment of passion with Gatsby. The fact that she's so indiscreet about her relationship with Gatsby, especially in front of everyone else, shows how flexible her morals are towards her relationship with Tom. This leads to Tom figuring out that there is something going on between them, and he is obviously upset about it. He later reveals to Nick and Jordan that he has done some background research on Gatsby. So, like I said earlier, he is obviously upset about the fact that Daisy might be in a relationship with someone else, yet he himself is in another relationship as well. Here we see him as a hypocrite, which ties into another theme that is connected with the loose moral times of the 1920s, which is honesty. Both Daisy and Tom are in separate relationships, but are not telling each other. And though they are in these other relationships, they kind of know that they have another partner, they're not really surprised, and they're not really surprised that their partner is having another affair. This kind of shows that that in the 20s, having an affair with someone else wasn't really unnatural. It wasn't really as much as a scandal as it might have been in other times. Another theme is the distinction between classes, between the old and new wealth. And we see this when Tom refers to Gatsby's car as a circus wagon. Now, Gatsby's car is probably not actually that low class, because we know that Gatsby is actually very rich, but Tom is probably referring to it as a circus wagon because of the fact that Gatsby is new wealth and that he doesn't really approve of it as much as he does old wealth. A symbol that is prevalent in this section is that of the weather. The author puts a lot of emphasis on the weather, especially the heat. It is very, very hot. The heat, or in the story, the heat had been building up and had been getting hotter and hotter until that day where they all got together at Daisy's house, and it was, by far the hottest day yet. The fact that the heat was building up like it did was like it was foreshadowing the tension building up between Tom and Gatsby, and it would eventually lead to the confrontation between Tom and Gatsby.